In this video we are going to talk about top 10 technology and ethics stories of 2021. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. In 2021, efforts to regulate artificial intelligence, AI, especially when used by law enforcement and biometric identification technologies like facial recognition, shape technology and ethics coverage. Legislators in Europe have produced a proposed Artificial Intelligence Act. It was not enough to stop AI-enabled human rights abuses, however. It will likely continue in 2022 with the upcoming Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts (PCSC) bill and future sessions of the Undercover Policing Inquiry (UCPI). In February, the Supreme Court ruled that popular ride-hailing app Uber must classify its drivers as employees rather than self-employed. These are the top 10 technology and ethical stories of 2021. Number 10. Microsoft EU data boundary dubbed smoke and mirrors. Microsoft announced in May that it would store and process all EU consumer data within the EU, but data privacy experts criticized the move as a tacit acknowledgement that data is frequently processed elsewhere. For example, Think Privacy founder and Amari.ai lead privacy consultant Alexander Hanf, for example, called Microsoft's action foolish, arguing there was no way to protect European people's data from being transferred to the US, where the standard of data protection is lower. According to Microsoft's biannual transparency report, it receives large numbers of requests from government surveillance agents in the US. It would be stupid to think they weren't requesting access to European data. The Cloud Act basically enables the US government to access any data kept anywhere by US firms on the cloud. According to a Computer Weekly investigation in December 2020, over 1 million people's personal data on Microsoft 365 was unlawfully processed over 1 million times. Number 9. Illegal state surveillance in Africa carried out with impunity. Across Africa, governments use illegal digital surveillance to monitor citizens. Despite this, a recent examination of monitoring legislation and practices in 6 African countries found that privacy rights are well safeguarded. The IDS and the African Digital Rights Network analyzed 6 distinct research studies on how Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, and Sudan use and invest in new digital technology to illegally spy on populations. Tony Roberts, Computer Weekly's digital research fellow and editor at IDS, said there were strong parallels between formal colonization and current monitoring. During the colonial administration, the UK's special branch spied on political opponents, he added. After independence, several colonial opponents kept special branches and built their own monitoring networks. New surveillance technologies have emerged throughout time. France, the UK, and other northern countries contribute to these technologies. After independence, the UK continued to spy on former colonies through signal intercepts. The parallels are clear. Number 8. Ban UK police use of facial recognition, House of Lords told. Experts called into doubt the proportionality and efficacy of how facial recognition technology has been applied by UK police, as well as its legal foundation, in evidence given to the Lords Home Affairs and Justice Committee about the use of advanced algorithmic tools by law enforcement. Karen Young, an interdisciplinary professorial fellow in law, ethics, and informatics at Birmingham Law School, pointed out that the Met Police made only 9 to 10 arrests based on roughly 500,000 facial scans in 11 trial deployments. This means that the whereabouts of hundreds of thousands of Britons can be monitored in real time. Number 7. Leading venture capital firms are failing to protect human rights. No human rights due diligence is done by venture capitalists or high-profile technological accelerators. So, they can't be sure their investments aren't contributing to or creating human rights violations. Amnesty International questioned every firm on the Venture Capital Journal's list of the 50 largest VCs, as well as prominent tech accelerators like Y Combinator, 500 startups, and Techstars. Only one VC firm met the UN standards for due diligence. According to the Amnesty research, the average contract takes 83 days to close, and the average firm spends 118 hours scrutinizing and analyzing the proposition. Number 6. TfL under fire for relying on Uber facial verification data in licensing decisions. TfL's reliance on data from Uber's facial verification-based driver ID system came under further scrutiny in July after a series of misidentifications resulted in unionized drivers losing their private hire licenses. As a result, Uber drivers are filing several legal challenges against the Transportation Authority, claiming that it did not conduct its own investigations into the occurrences and instead relied only on data from Uber's facial verification software. Drivers also complained that, despite the fact that additional fines were available, TfL chose to cancel their license immediately. If drivers are unable to lawfully operate their automobiles, this can have a significant impact on their lives. Number 5. Europe's proposed AI regulation falls short on protecting rights. The European Commission (EC) proposed an Artificial Intelligence Act (AIA) on April 21, 2021, concentrating on setting restrictions around the use of high-risk and prohibited AI practices. According to digital civil rights experts and organizations speaking to Computer Weekly, the EC's regulatory plan is skewed in favor of organizations that create and deploy AI technologies, while regular people are afforded little protection or redress. This is despite the fact that individuals are susceptible to AI systems in situations where they cannot opt out, such as law enforcement or immigration enforcement. Number 4. Serious violence duty in PCSC bill would gut UK data rights. Human rights groups are concerned about the impending police, crime, sentencing in courts, PCSC bill in the UK. Definitive data on suspects of serious violence will be collected and shared. Some fear that this will erode existing data rights and promote discriminatory policing methods. Medical professionals fear that the requirement for public organizations to share data with police will erode public trust in them and hinder them from receiving important public services. It was first introduced to Parliament on March 9, 2021, and has since provoked major protests in cities around the UK over a series of controversial policies that would criminalize the lifestyles of Gypsy, Roma, and traveler groups and severely restrict the right to demonstrate. Number 3. Spy cops victims share ongoing data protection concerns. The Undercover Policing Inquiry, which was established in 2015 to investigate the practices of undercover policing units, including the Special Demonstration Squad, which was established in 1968 as part of the Met Police's special branch to infiltrate British protest groups, began its second phase on April 21, 2021. Officers were said to have gathered and disseminated a significant quantity of personal information about left-wing activists. This included women they had duped into having sexual relationships with them, according to the report, was obviously disproportionate and unacceptable. Witnesses voiced concern about their personal data being stored without their permission, as well as how it has impacted and continues to damage their lives. They also wanted to know if any information about them was being collected. Number 2. Interview, Uber driver Yassine Aslam on his Supreme Court battle, and what's next for gig workers. In February, the UK Supreme Court ruled unanimously that Uber must constitute its drivers as employees, granting them greater working conditions and protections. Until now, Uber considered its drivers self-employed and independent workers, assuming the Uber app connected them with customers. Uber held this viewpoint throughout the 4-year legal battle that reached the Supreme Court. An interview with Yassine Aslam, president of the ADCU, and one of the original claimants in the Uber lawsuit, follows. According to the GMB union, the verdict might result in tens of thousands of Uber drivers receiving PS 12,000 each. According to Keller Lenkner, the law firm representing them in a class action lawsuit, they could be entitled to between PS 10,000 and PS 12,000 each. Number 1. Mining deaths lawsuit against major tech companies dismissed. According to a report by Computer Weekly in late 2019, a U.S. District Court judge rejected a lawsuit against 5 major U.S. technology corporations accused of deliberately benefiting from human rights abuses in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. This was the first lawsuit against Alphabet, Apple, Microsoft, Dell, and Tesla. Electric automobiles, smartphones, and laptops all rely on the cobalt supply chain. The judge ruled that there was not a strong enough causal link between the business's behavior and the minor's injuries. The family's lawyers said the corporations told the court they are only purchasers of cobalt and have nothing to do with DRC mining. While claiming control over supply chains and establishing policies to restrict child labor in cobalt mines, the firms also claimed to have applied. A jury must decide whether the companies lied to the court, not the court on procedural motions. We expect the appellate court to agree. What do you think about our video? Please let us know in the comments area below. If you enjoyed this video and would want to hear from me again, please subscribe and turn on the notification before leaving. Thank you for watching us.